Welcome students. This is again the lecture for Civil 2 for the subject Engineering Mathematics 2. As we have already completed our syllabus and these lectures they are only for the revision purpose. The topics that we have done already. So this is the revision for those topics which are very important for the examination point of view. In my previous lecture, I told you the derivation of the Laplace equation, the derivation of actually the two-dimensional Laplace equation in the Cartesian form by using the method of separation of variable. Here, I am going to give the application or the numerical for the Laplace equation, that how practically we use the Laplace equation. So let us illustrate its application or numerical through this question. The statement is we have to solve curly 2u over curly x square plus curly 2u over curly y square is equal to 0. This is basically the Laplace equation in two-dimensional. This is two-dimensional Laplace equation, and the conditions which are given to us, u0y is equal to ul(y) is 0, means when x is 0 and when x is equal to l, the value of u is 0. And the other conditions are uxm is equal to 0, means when y is equal to m and x is fixed, the value of u is again 0, and ux0 is equal to f of x. That is, when x is fixed and y is equal to 0, the function u is equal to f of x. Okay, and y varies from 0 to m and x varies from 0 to l. So let us discuss its solution. The Laplace equation is given by this thing. This is the two-dimensional Laplace equation, that is curly 2u over curly x square plus curly 2u over curly y square is equal to 0. This is the two-dimensional Laplace equation in the Cartesian form. So the three possible solutions, these solutions we have discussed yesterday. We have done the derivation, that is when the constant k is negative, positive, and it is 0. In these three cases, the values or the possible solutions, they are: the first solution corresponds to when the constant k is equal to 0. Second solution corresponds when k is positive. And third solution corresponds when k is negative, that is when we take k is equal to minus p square. Okay. So the solutions are c1x plus c2, c3y plus c4. Take this as number 2. And when k is positive, the solution is c5 e to the power px, c6 e to the power minus px, c7 cos py, c8 sin py. And last, the solution, it is corresponding when k is negative, that is when we take k is equal to minus p square. The solution in this case is given by c9 cos px plus c10 sin px, c11 e to the power py, c12 e to the power minus py. So let us give these three solutions as equation number 2, 3 and 4. Now I will apply the given boundary condition to all these solutions. So I'll take only that solution which will be feasible or which will provide the valid, or we can say the non-zero solution for the given Laplace equation given by equation number 1. So the very much first condition that I am going to use is u0y is 0 and uly is 0. That is, here I am keeping y as fixed and taking the values of x, 0 and l one by one. So let us apply these two conditions first for the solution number 2. So when x is equal to 0, we are having c2 into c4 is equal to 0. So c2 into c3y plus c4 is 0. So the product of these two terms is 0. So this cannot be 0 for the non-zero solution. The only possibility is c2 as 0. If I apply the second condition, uly is 0, I will get c1l plus c2, c3y plus c4. I am putting the value of c2 equal to 0 over here. So I am getting c1l, c3y plus c4. Again, this factor c3y plus c4 cannot be 0 for the non-zero solution. So the only possibility is c1l is 0. So l is non-zero, the only possibility is c1 0. So if c1 is 0, c2 is 0, the solution will lead to the 0 solution. So we will reject the solution number 2 as it is providing the 0 solution, and we just want to deal with the non-zero solution. Let us apply the next conditions, that is u0y and uly is equal to 0 for solution number 3. The third solution is, if I put x is equal to 0, I am getting c5 plus c6, c7 cos py plus c8 sin py. E to the power 0 is 1. Okay. For solution number 3. Again, this is non-zero. For the non-zero solution, we only have c5 plus c6 is 0. And if I apply the second condition, that is uly is equal to 0 in third, I am getting c5 e to the power pl, c6 e to the power minus pl, C7 cos py, C8 sin py is 0. Again for non-zero solution, this factor, this much, it will be non-zero. So the only possibility is C5 e to the power PL, C6 e to the power minus PL is 0. If I solve this equation and this, C5 plus C6 is equal to 0, I'll get C5 and C6 is equal to 0. So you can solve it by using Cramer's rule or any other rule also. Okay. So again this is providing the zero solution, so we also reject the solution number 3. Let us apply the condition for solution number 4, because we just want to choose the feasible solution for the given equation out of the 3 solutions given by equation number 2, 3 and 4. So we are having, I am going to use u0y is equal to 0 and uly is equal to 0 in equation number 4. So 4 implies if I put u0y is equal to 0, if I am putting x is equal to 0, I will have C9, C11 e to the power py, C12 e to the power minus py is 0. Again for the non-zero solution, this factor will be non-zero, so the only possibility is C9 is equal to 0. The next condition is uly is 0 in equation number 4, so I am getting C9 cos pl, C10 sin pl, C11 e to the power py, C12 e to the power minus py. So again we are having C9 is 0. This factor is non-zero because we want to deal with the non-zero solution. So the only possibility is C10 sin PL is 0. Again the product of these two terms is 0. So either C10 is 0 or sin PL is 0. So for the non-zero solution again C10 should be non-zero. So the only possibility is sin PL is 0. So if your sin PL is 0, I will get PL is equal to n pi, where n is an integer and p is equal to n pi over n. Okay. Let us use the next condition, uxm is equal to 0. So again I am applying for equation number 4. What I am getting, it is uxm is equal to 0. So it is C9 cos px plus C10 sin px, C11 e to the power pm plus C12 e to the power minus pm. So here I am using C9 as 0. I am writing the value of p as I have recently calculated it. That is, it is p is equal to n pi over l. So I am putting that value over here. So finally, after simplification, I am getting C10 sin n pi over L, C11 e to the power n pi m over L plus C12 e to the power minus n pi over L. So these factor is non-zero, C10 is non-zero because I want the non-zero solution, as C9 is already 0. So if C10 is 0, then it will lead to the 0 solution. So I reject this. So the only possibility is C11, this factor is 0, that is C11 e to the power n pi m over L plus C12 e to the power minus m pi over L is 0. So take this factor on the right hand side, C11 e to the power n pi m over L is equal to minus C12 e to the power minus n pi m over L. So C11 is minus C12, this factor will go into the denominator, as these two factors they are being divided having the same base, so their powers will be subtracted. So it will lead to minus C12 e to the power minus 2 n pi L over m. Okay. So n pi m over Lr. So u is equal to, it will lead to, so we are writing the value of C11 over here. C9 is 0, u is equal to 0 plus C10 sin n pi x over L minus C12 e to the power minus 2 n pi m over L e to the power n pi y over L plus C12 e to the power minus n pi y over L. I'll take C12 common from this factor. So what will I get? C10 sin n pi x over L, C12 minus e to the power minus n pi L over e to the power n pi over m. This factor can be broken into these two parts. Multiply e to the power n pi y over L, e to the power minus n pi y over L. I am just taking C12 as the common factor. Okay, so it becomes C10 C12 sin n pi x over L e to the power minus e to the power minus n pi over L m minus y. If I solve these two factors, so n pi L over L I am taking as common with the negative sign, so inside I am having only my m minus y plus e to the power minus n pi y n pi L over my minus y. I am actually taking this as the LCM, and this the factor, this is denominator, it will go, if it into the numerator, it will be e to the power minus n pi m over L. Okay students, so u is equal to C10 C12 sin n pi x over L into 2 e to the power n pi over L m minus y minus e to the power n pi over L m minus y. Actually this factor I am taking, writing firstly, and then this factor over 2. Actually what I am doing over here, I am multiplying and divide this factor with 2. Okay. Okay, so 2 is here multiplying and 2 is here being divided, e to the power minus n pi 1 over n. Okay, so now it is of the type e to the power x minus e to the power minus x by 2. So this is basically sin x, sine hyperbolic x, as you have read these things. So u is equal to this c10 and c12. It is being the constant, so it is being replaced with another constant, that's say an. N pi x over L, so sin n pi over L m minus phi e to the power minus n pi m over L. This factor is being replaced with the sin of n pi over L m minus phi. Sin here, sine hyperbolic. This 2 will be getting multiplied with c10 and c12. So this is 2 c10 c12. It is being replaced with an, e to the power minus n pi over L into m. So an is 2 c10 c12. It's a constant. So what will be the general solution? I'll put the sigma sign over here. So u is equal to sigma n varies from 1 to infinity an sine n pi x over L sin n pi over L m minus phi e to the power minus n pi m over L. So u is equal to sigma n varies from 1 to infinity sin n pi over L m minus phi sin n pi x over L. Now this factor, students, an, and the last factor e to the power minus n pi m over L. This factor, they are the constants, they are being replaced with the another constant, that is en. So en is e to the power minus n pi m over L into en, which is a constant again. So this is, take this as number 5. Now I am going to use the last condition. The last condition is ux0 is equal to f of x. I am putting y is equal to 0. So if I put y is equal to 0 in equation number 5, I will get u will be replaced with capital F of x, sigma n varies from 1 to infinity en sin n pi m over L, as y will get 0 sin n pi x over L. So this is your half range Fourier sine series. So this constant, now the constant will be taken as en sin n pi m over L. This Fourier constant will be eliminated like this: en sin n pi m over L is equal to 2 over L integral 0 to L. What is the factor on the right hand side? F of x multiply sin n pi x over L dx. Now this en will be evaluated like this. This sin will go on that side in the denominator, and 1 over sin will be cosecant. That is cosecant hyperbolic, or it is named as cosecant n pi m over L integral 0 to L f of x sin n pi x over L dx. Take this as number 6. So the solution of equation number 1, the Laplace equation, two-dimensional Laplace equation in the Cartesian form, it is given by equation number 5, that is u is equal to en sin n pi over L m minus phi sin n pi x over L. Okay, and this constant en, it is being here en sin n pi over L. There this en is being evaluated, which is considered as the Fourier constant, is being evaluated like 2 over L cosecant n pi m over L integral 0 to L f of x sin n pi x over L dx. That is equation number 6. Okay, so basically students, we have started with the equation, the Laplace equation, two-dimensional Laplace equation in the Cartesian form. Then we have written the 3 possible solutions that we have discussed in our derivation previously, in my previous lecture. Okay, so the 3 solutions, they are corresponding to when the constant is 0, when the constant is positive, and the constant is negative respectively. That is equation number 2, 3 and 4. Okay, after that we have seen what are the boundary conditions. That boundary conditions we have applied, and we found the most feasible solution is given by equation number 4, that is when your constant k is negative, when we take k is equal to minus b square, where p is not equal to 0. Okay, so accordingly we use the last condition and we get the solution of equation number 1 is given by equation number 5. So the equation was number 1, its general solution is given by equation number 5, and you can see from equation number 5 there is a constant en which is being evaluated by equation number 6, that is 2 over L cosecant n pi m over L, cosecant, or you can read it like this, cosecant hyperbolic n pi m over L integral 0 to L f of x sin n pi x over L dx. Okay, so this was the all overview of the Laplace equation, its application on the numerical. So students, in heat and wave equation we have discussed its physical nature. As in heat equation there was a inverse relationship between u and t, and in the wave equation we chose that solution which is which is matching with its physical nature, like the equation or the solution which contains the periodic function, as the wave or vibrations, they are dealing with the periodic nature. Okay, but in Laplace equation no such nature is available. We will just write the three possible solutions for each and every application, for each and every numerical, and the boundary conditions that will satisfy one of that solution, that will be your final solution. Okay, so hope so the content of this lecture is clear to you. Still, if you find any kind of doubt, you please ask me without any hesitation. And these lectures, they are just for your revision purpose only. We have already done these things through my video lectures which I have delivered to you previously. They are just for the sake of revision, students. So still, if you find difficulty, any kind of doubt, please ask me, don't hesitate. Thank you so much.